like everybody else out there, obviously you always feel for a manager losing his job, but he was under huge pressure. Results haven't been great, not scoring enough goals. His results over last year too in the big games not great. League form, yeah, disappointing. You always are. But it's a new start, new manager coming in a couple of weeks. You always wish him well. Big challenge for him, trying to get Man United back, competing at the top of the table. It's a big ask, but obviously you wish him well. But you always have sympathy for a manager losing his jobs. And ultimately, I think whatever about the board, the players let him down by their efforts, not being good enough. Well, at the start, obviously, it'll be small changes. He'll have to get used to working with the players. We obviously don't know really what kind of personality he is until he gets in. His CV looks obviously neat and tidy. Listen, the Portuguese isn't the strongest league out there, but you can only beat what's in front of you. The challenge will be, of course, getting players in. We make the point about there's a few players in the United team in big positions who can't run, right? Which is a big problem. But they also have players in the team who don't want to run, or when they do run, they don't run hard enough, fast enough, or long enough. So he has to get that into the dressing room, that mentality. And for the players who aren't doing it, you have to try and move them on, which is difficult because they're on long-term contracts. In terms of a playing style, he's obviously always been linked with playing three at the back, whether that's the way Man United want to go, because they're struggling to defend as a back four. So I think getting players into that team, getting some spirit and some fight into it. The lack of goals is a huge problem for Man United. You look at the league club there, and every time I see after even 9-10 games, -3 goals from Man United, it's hard to read. So it's a huge challenge for him. I think the bottom line is we look at the managers who've come and gone over the last few years. Ultimately, they've not won enough football matches. Whatever's gone on, they've all been at maybe 54, 55%. Mourinho was on about 58. But the problem is Pep's across the road. Pep's over 70. So he'll have to try and get over 60% wins to try and get a little bit close to Pep. That's if Pep hangs around. So ultimately, he has to win more football matches than the previous managers, who all done decent jobs, and a few of them won some cups and whatever. But clearly, that's not good enough for the owners. They have to be competing there at the top. They have to be certainly in the Champions League, whatever, for financial reasons. So it's a big ask. You wish him well. We wish him well, but it's going to be huge. We go back to the manager. We go back to the bit of pride as a players. We've all done it. And people look at the manager, but I don't care if you're playing in front of 80,000 or 80 people. You run. You've got to run in this game, and this team doesn't run, and that's a big problem. Whatever, lack of talent as well. Again, we say there all the time. We go, they got really talented players, but if you're not going to run, you're going to get nowhere fast.
Roy, if Ruben Amorim is watching this, as he will be, trying to assess the scale of the job that he has in front of him, what do you think he will have come away thinking?
He should have signed a longer contract.
Because this is going to take longer.
There's a long way back for this team. I know, listen, a manager will come in, you hope he will get more out of this group, but this is an average United team. All the stats back it up. We keep, I suppose, repeating ourselves, and we come and watch Man United again today. You don't know what you're going to get with them. They could have won the game. They had a couple of chances toward the end, but you're looking also thinking there's a good chance they're going to lose it. It's hit and miss. Not good. It's not good. It's just even when you're watching, I hate using the word, this United team is almost boring, seems a bit strong, but you're just looking, the lack of conviction and the chances. It kind of suited him a bit better towards the end. It was a bit open. You're thinking, listen, you seem to be getting more chance when the game was open. But really disappointed, so flat. Even the fans must be disappointed. But from the manager's point of view, this team, they're way off in terms of getting back into that top four and competing. Really disappointing performance. As a team, you look at them and you look at certain individuals, and maybe we think they're better than what they are, some of them. They've got established international players. You come and watch them. You hang your hat on a team sometimes, but you look at them and you go, well, technically they're very good, or they're big and strong and physical, or United are a bit, they're just kind of average at everything. They're not very good at anything special. And the lack of goals is still hard to believe. But then when you look at some of the chances they've created and the opportunities they're missing, you're going, well, that's why managers lose their jobs here, and that's why you're down on the table, and that's why the goals record is what it is. Not good enough. Obviously, again, today was a set piece. The goal they got, penalty is a set piece. They gave away a goal from a set piece. So it's proper hit and miss, but more likely it's going to be a miss. And if the United fans are coming here today, United fans must be going away today scratching their heads thinking, this is, again, it was very quiet at Old Trafford today. We mentioned before the game there might be a reaction with the manager leaving and Ruud on the sideline, but it wasn't. They were just sitting there hoping something might happen, not necessarily believing something would happen, and the game I was glad when the referee blew the final whistle. I wasn't getting too excited with it. You look at United, they're just playing moments, isn't it? They'll have the little moments of quality, as we saw with the ball for Casemiro for the goal. But that's nowhere near good enough for a Man United team. You can't just depend on moments. You've got to have a structure, you've got to have a way of playing, a desire, even when a goal up, see the game out, to concede within 4 minutes. You've got to dig deep. This is about rebuilding Man United and get back to competing. And that's why you have to get the team together. I don't see a team out. I'm not saying for 1 second some of them aren't trying, of course, and it's all disjointed. But you've got to get that structure of a team, of personalities and characters and quality to go, this is where we think Man United can get back competing towards the top of the table. Because this group, they don't seem to have it at this moment in time. And a new voice, three at the back. Maybe you have to try something different, because the madness for all of us is coming every week to watch Man United and expecting something different. This is the norm now for Man United. But even the West Ham game last week, United, the first half, your manager's under huge pressure. Players are missing great chances, and they're walking back, and they're... You got to get a hold of these lads. Hit the target. These are big chances. These are top quality players. Missing open goals. Dallo missed a chance last week, and people keep telling me he's a good player. Put the ball in the back of the net. Keep your manager's job for another couple of weeks at least. And they're missing. They're all walking back, and they're kind of apologising. I'm sorry. Stop you saying sorry. Put the ball in the back of the net. Keep everyone happy.
But I thought his comments on Erik ten Hag were interesting, particularly coming off the back of what you were saying about players apologising to each other for a misplaced pass or a wayward shot. What do you make of players apologising to managers after the manager's been sacked?
Too little, too late.
Did any players ever apologise to you or anything?
Yeah, one or two did, yeah. Yeah, a swift response, let me tell you. Yeah. No, listen, these are always awkward interviews for players, and but no, I wouldn't have much time and patience for a player to say, listen, sorry, we've let you down. Too little, too late. You know, you're judged what you do on the football pitch, and I don't think Bruno had done enough in a lot of the games where he didn't show that leadership. So it'd be interesting to hear what obviously Ten Hag has to say about it. But you also have to move on. Listen, a lot of players don't care that much when a manager goes. To just focus on the next manager coming in. They get ready, they look after themselves. Of course, that's part of the game. Players can be selfish, we know that. But I don't think Bruno done enough as a captain of Man United over the last year or two to help the manager out. Far from it. The proof's there with all the results. Not just down to Bruno, of course, but I don't think he showed enough leadership skills when the goings got tough with some of the performances. And I don't think Bruno should be too proud of himself of what's happened to the Man United manager over the last week or two, Ten Hag. I think I said it earlier, I think the players let the manager down, ultimately. But that's football and that's life. You have to move on and get ready for the new manager. I've all played under managers. I've played under managers, which I played under some great managers. But I played under managers who I didn't particularly like, let me tell you. But it wouldn't stop me for 1 second not going out and doing my best for the team. Absolutely not. And that was the same with the lads I played with. I was very lucky. I was in some good dressing rooms. But this idea, when a manager goes and players are saying, oh, well, maybe we could have done more, maybe we're sorry for that. To me, that's hard to... It's hard to listen to.
It's one thing not to like, right? And then it's one thing to actually not really to act and do it. You go out and you play. The idea of making an excuse about the manager, oh, it's his fault, the way he set us up, look at what they're doing down the road, the way that they play. No, deal with what's in front of you, lads, and go out and show it now.
And it's not even about liking the manager. People say it always helps if you like or respect the manager, but even if you don't, I think the bottom line, it goes back to it. The way you're brought up, or when you play football as a young kid, your own DNA should suggest that you're a good team player. That's why you play football. You're part of a team. You're not playing an individual sport. So when the going gets tough, you roll your sleeves up. You become a team player. And I'm not saying for 1 second it's about playing well every week. Far from it. But you roll your sleeves up. You become a team. You dig in. You grind out results. You win an ugly game. But this United team doesn't do it. And that's what obviously, I'm very critical of them. But I'd love to sit there every week and watch Man United turn up and win 2 or 3. And you just listen, absolutely amazing. Last year or two, you give them a little bit of praise when they're doing well in the Cups. But Man United, we can't go back to Man United of the 80s where they're a Cup team. The reason you sign and you play for Man United is that you turn up week in, week out and you're consistent. That's the key to it. There's no point in saying, I'll turn up in a week or two, or if the manager gets sacked, I'll play for the new managers, there's a new system. No, forget that stuff. You still have to go and train with your teammates every day. So when you look at your teammates in the eye every Monday morning, or when you're training or in a game with 20 minutes to go, and you're on your knees and your hamstrings at you and you're under pressure going, let's dig in. Let's show what we're about. And if that is a Man United or Chelsea or Spurs or whoever you're playing for, you dig deep. That's your foundation of your career. You're going to be talented, you could be skillful, and if you win trophies, fantastic, it's a bonus. But ultimately, you're on a team in a dressing room with players where you're going, I'm in the trenches with these lads, let's go for it. I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with them players. I just wouldn't want to be. I don't see it. Do I know all these personally? Absolutely not. But I know my eyes don't lie to me. I see these players today, even to go 1-0 up today, you're thinking, are they going to see this game out? No. It's a set piece, not a poor header. People not getting out to people 1-1, and then you have to hear chat after the game. Oh, a bit unlucky, the manager's late. New managers come. Hey, great. Happy days. No, far from it. You left a manager down there last week. And it's not about liking managers, because people are quick to throw at me going, oh, I fell out with managers. But I tell you, when I was out on the pitch, I didn't want to let them down, even if I despised them. And that's got to come down to your DNA. And these players haven't got the DNA, a lot of them, of a Man United player, in my eyes. If you look at the game last week at West Ham, the chances, United should have scored definitely at least 3 or 4 goals in the first half last week. So whatever about having a brilliant striker like Ruud on your staff, whatever it might be, these are players, these are international players, and they're missing them chances. Today, listen, they weren't really clear-cut chances, but they were good chances. You're still thinking a top player might go, listen, I just need half a chance. And we're not seeing that with this group. So I don't think that's necessarily down who you've got in the coaching staff. That's sometimes about, we mentioned earlier about looking at young Chelsea players, giving them a chance, but then there comes a point where you go, Man United can't keep waiting for these players to mature and say, he'll be good in 12 or 18 months. Maybe other clubs can, but Man United can't. And that's where the new manager will have to come in and identify that and say, listen, I have to get strikers in. And guess what that means? More recruitment, more players. And United have spent a fortune over the last 2 or 3 years, and their track record on recruitment's not been great. But this manager will have to come in, and if that continues, we'll say, I'll have to get a couple of attacking players in. Strikers, maybe players he's worked with, and find more money. We look back in the summer when there was changes in the background. Who brought Ruud to the club? Was it United? Was it the manager? Because there was a lot of changes in the background. So it depends on, does Ruud feel he's got loyalty to Den Haag? Or does he say, well, actually, it was the club that brought me in? But I agree. I think it's difficult when a new manager comes in. If he's bringing a lot of his own staff, maybe there won't be a place for Ruud. And maybe Ruud would be better off then stepping back, because it's not easy. If he feels any loyalty to Den Haag, I always feel it's difficult to stay on. But we mentioned loyalty last week. You want loyalty, obviously we get a dog. There's always noises around Man United, and you hear about the background, the changes, and letting people go, and letting great servants of the club go, and stuff like this. But you just worry also about the morale in the background, with the staff. You know, people are losing their jobs and pay cuts, and maybe that the energy has been lost at United a little bit. You don't feel it around the stadium, and, you know, again, a long way back on that side of it.